Good morning, and thank you very much. Thank you, Governor. Thank you very much for those kind words of introduction. It's truly been an honor to be with you the last couple of days here in Michigan. Um, the governor, actually, we spent some time since I've been here for the last couple of days talking about a lot of things that are going on uh, here in Detroit. Yesterday, I was in Dearborn, visited the manufacturing plants out there, and talked to some of the workers on the line. Yesterday morning, I woke up in Detroit and read the morning papers as I do every morning. And the first thing I read was they're looking at a complete EV conversion by 2030. Looking at that's one of the things we're talking about. And I told the assembly line workers yesterday afternoon that as long as I am president and under my administration, we will not convert to EVs until the infrastructure of this country is ready. And quite frankly, we're not even near that point right now. Uh, for those who follow me, you know that I talk a lot about my hometown back in Texas. And we have a charging station. Is that a restaurant? Now there may be more. I'm not saying there's not. There may be more. We're a town of about 36,500 people just south of Dallas, Texas. And um, there is a charging station at a restaurant with five charging ports. Town 36,500 people, five charging ports, all EVs. That's not going to work out too well. So you have my commitment here, and I know this is important to the citizens of Michigan. You have my commitment that we will not, contrary to what the morning papers are saying over the last couple of days, we will not convert to EVs until this country is ready to convert to EVs. If it's 20 years from now, if it's 2030, if it's 2040, whatever it is, we're not going to do it until it happens, as long as I'm there. So it is indeed an honor and a privilege to be with you this morning. Again, I'm wrapping up this trip here. Has been a great time up here in Michigan. I love this state. Spent some time up here. I remember a couple summers ago, I spent some time down in Grand Rapids. Grand Rapids is home to one of our former presidents, Gerald Ford, and he was the first president I actually met, and so it was an honor to be there. Um, actually on his birthday week, so it was an honor to be there and to uh, pay tribute to the first president I ever met. Little kid it happened too, but it was an honor to do that. You know, this morning, uh, I stand before you with a sense of duty and purpose, ready to embark on a journey that transcends party lines and personal ambitions. A journey toward a brighter, more prosperous future for all Americans. As we gather here this morning, let us reflect on the challenges and opportunities that define our present and shape our collective destiny. Let us acknowledge the complexities and uncertainties that lie ahead. But let us also embrace the boundless possibilities that await us if we have the courage and determination to seize them. At the heart of our national discourse lies the most important imperative, and that's of education. It's the cornerstone of our society, the foundation upon which our democracy rests. Our schools are not just buildings, they are the crucibles in which the future of our nation is forged, where young minds are nurtured and the seeds of progress are sown. Yet, despite the pivotal role that education plays in shaping the destiny of our nation, we find ourselves confronted by systematic inequalities and persistent challenges that threaten to undermine its efficiency and impact. It's time for us to prioritize education spending, recognizing that an investment in our educational infrastructure is an investment in our collective future, and it really is. You think about this morning. I was thinking about this morning on the way over here, uh, passing some of the schools. Walking into those schools this morning are the future of the United States of America. And the teachers that are waiting in the hallway for their students to arrive are the instruments to making sure that the United States, that our country has a bright future. Now, I know that over the past 4 years or so, there's been a lot of talk about what we're teaching in our schools, this so called woke education. You know, quite frankly, my Back to Basics education program says that our teachers will teach the ABCs, the one, two, threes, the good, the bad, the ugly of history. And that's what they owe our students. That's what they owe our students. Did our country do bad things in our history? Absolutely. Was slavery wrong in our history? Absolutely. But if we do not teach these things, this generation is bound to repeat them. It's bound to repeat them. And I think it's so important, especially this election year, that we teach the importance of democracy to our students. You know, a lot of people are saying that democracy is on the brink here. The future of democracy is in this election. And I'm here to tell you that I'm for democracy. I had the good fortune of having a civics teacher in my high school that taught me the importance of democracy. And that's probably one of the reasons I'm up here today. And that's why I want one of the students here in our country to stand here one day and be able to say those same words. It's so important. It's so important. This entails not merely allocating financial resources, but adopting an approach that addresses the multifaceted needs of our educational institutions, for modernizing infrastructure and enhancing technology to promoting innovative practices and providing adequate support for educators. We must pursue a comprehensive strategy that ensures equal access to quality education for all students, regardless of their socioeconomic background or geographical location. Yet, none of this is possible without our dedicated teachers. They are the unsung heroes who shape the minds of the next generation, instilling in them the values of hard work, compassion, and resilience. And it's time to honor their invaluable contributions by advocating for substantial pay raises, professional development opportunities, and the resources necessary to excel in their vital role as mentors, guides, and champions of knowledge. And my Back to Basics program will ensure that happens. Now, I will tell you, it's a sizable investment, but it's an investment in the future of this nation. It's an investment in the future of this nation. We must invest in the future of this nation. We must do that. Now, you're going to say it's a Washington power grab, and it's not. All Back to Basics is doing, it's providing the resources to the states so that they can in turn distribute the pay raises to our well-deserved teachers. Too many of them are living on the brink. Too many of them are spending 80% of their paycheck on pharmaceutical medications. It's not that they need or not that they want, it's what they need to have. There is an example of a good friend of mine back in Texas. She pays $800 for a prescription that she needs, not wants, but she needs. How is that fair? How is that fair when Big Pharma is over here raking in billions of dollars in profit? Now, there is a commercial that I've seen numerous times on TV, and I won't name the medicine that it's talking about. And some of you guys may know what I'm talking about when I describe it. But this guy's on here, and he talks about what this medicine costs at a drugstore, and he shows the price. It's like $416. But then it shows the same identical drug. It's a generic version of it. It's like $12. Why can't that be the way for every single medicine in this country? Why is it that we're paying $800? That's almost a mortgage, if not a little bit less than a mortgage, for medicine that you need. But yet the cost is $12.70. Why is that happening in our country? Why is that happening? I will I will tell you this here this morning. Under my administration, it won't happen. It will come to an end. Transitioning to the economic realm, we are confronted by the challenges of unemployment, a scourge that threatens the livelihoods of millions, sowing seeds of despair and uncertainty in communities across our nation. To address this, we must pursue comprehensive unemployment reform, encompassing short-term relief measures that but also long-term strategies aimed at fostering resilience, promoting workforce development, and fostering entrepreneurship. By investing in job training programs, supporting small businesses, and implementing policies that promote innovation and entrepreneurship, we can empower individuals to adapt and thrive in a changing economy, building a more resilient workforce and ensuring economic prosperity for all. Think about it. Almost 4 years ago at this time, the unemployment rate, you woke up and you read the morning paper, unemployment was at 15%. 15%. People were out of work. The economy was shut down. Now, gradually over time, the economy reopened and people went back to work. But there was a certain percentage of those who found it comfortable to live in unemployment. It's time for those able-bodied Americans to go back to work. For the past 4 years, I've had a goal of 3% unemployment in our country. We've come close every month. We're always around 3 to 3.5%. And I'm going to say this, I've said this many times across this country. Here in this room this morning, there are 1.6 jobs available for every one of you. 1.6 jobs available. Why aren't we getting those? Now, we may never see a 0% unemployment, but we can see a 3% unemployment, and we can see every able-bodied American with a job. Finally, let's cast our gaze beyond the borders to the realm of foreign affairs, a domain fraught with complexity, uncertainty, and competing interests in an interconnected world characterized by geopolitical rivalries, transitional threats, and emerging technology challenges. The imperative of effective and principled foreign policy has never been more pronounced. It is incumbent upon us to pursue a foreign policy agenda that is rooted in the principles of diplomacy, cooperation, and mutual respect. By fostering constructive dialogue, strengthening international alliances, and upholding democratic values and human rights, we can advance our national interest while contributing to a more peaceful, stable, and prosperous world for all nations. There is a candidate out there who talks about, if he's elected, that he wants to turn his back on the NATO allies, our partners who have been with us for a long time, who we've had their back, and they've had our back. They had our back on the morning of September the 11th. The only time in NATO's history, and many of you guys may know what Article 5 is, an attack on one is an attack on all. The only time in NATO history Article 5 was invoked was September the 11th. That's true. That's being a true ally. That's being a true partner in the global community. Why do we want to turn our back on our NATO allies? Every time I have one of the allies visit, and they come for bilaterals quite often, and I go visit them, they're asking me, well, how long are you guys going to be around? How long is, I say we're back, we're on, we're out there, we're in the arena, and they're like, for how long? And my answer quite simply is this: as long as my administration continues, our partnership with NATO will continue. We shall never turn our back on our NATO allies as long as I'm in the White House. In conclusion, my fellow Americans, the challenges before us are great, but So too is our resolve. Together, let us embrace the challenges before us with unity, purpose, and determination. Let us build a future brighter for generations to come, not as Democrats or Republicans, but as Americans united for a common pursuit of a more perfect union. You know, a previous occupant of the White House had this beautiful painting in the Oval Office, and it's for any of you who've ever been out to West Texas, there's a lot of mountains out there. A guy named Tom Lee, and he did this beautiful painting called Near El Paso. And Tom and his wife Sarah talk about living on the east side of the mountain. And Tom says, for living on the east side of the mountain, we can see the sunrise of the day ahead, not the sunset of the day that's past. Well, my fellow Americans, this morning I'm fully convinced that the United States lives on the east side of the mountain, and our best days are ahead of us. May God bless you. May God bless our troops, and may God bless the United States of America. Thank you all very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and thank you for that the warm greetings and the fantastic time here in Michigan. Thank you guys very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you.